Hey guys, welcome back to Kev in Movies. I'm Kev, and today we are going to take a look at the latest official trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This movie's coming out this summer, and this is probably the first real trailer we've seen for this. Definitely a highly anticipated film. This is the last film in the Mission Impossible franchise, from what I've heard and read, but who knows? Um, that said, I've always been a huge fan of these movies, going back to the first Mission Impossible in 1996, which I still think is the best in the franchise by a long shot and still holds up pretty well today. Everything from the score and the cast, the music, everything is just fantastic in that movie. And I don't really think they've captured the magic of that film, but I don't think there's been a terrible Mission Impossible movie. Unlike a lot of franchises that have this many films, I think these have all been pretty entertaining and, at the very least, really good action movies with a lot of good stunts, which the franchise is known for. We know Tom Cruise does almost all his own stunts, if not all, and just keeps up in the ante. And yeah, so let's go take a look at this trailer, little over 2 minute trailer, and I'll just give you my thoughts. And yeah, let's dive in.
This can't all be true.
Every word.
CIA Black Vault break-in.
Am I reading this correctly? The Kremlin bombing?
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
He gassed a security briefing.
That was just 2 months ago.
This explains the handcuffs. It's still not clear why he's here.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink, we have to deal with him.
Should he choose to accept?
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
What exactly is your plan?
Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. All your secrets compromised.
Everything you are, everything you've done, has come to this.
You gave him an aircraft carrier?
Our lives are the sum of our choices. This is your calling, your destiny. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
All right, so pretty cool. Coming in hot, May 23rd. This is really soon. So, yeah, pretty cool trailer. I'll say, just, knee-jerk reaction. I like the score better, or the music in the Dead Reckoning trailer a little bit more. For whatever reason, that one I think was a less like action tone, and I don't know, more dramatic. And I don't know, I like dramatic trailers, so I like that one a little better. But lots of good stuff here. Crazy stunts as usual. What I'm starting to see in this trailer, well, first of all, great to see anytime the original cast comes back. And this is Kittredge from the first film. He was in the last film as well and did well. in that movie. Glad to see him back, and most of the cast, from the last couple of films seems to be in it, which is great. I think I even saw the guy who plays Ron Swanson as one of the commanders, perhaps, or one of the lawyers or something. So that's cool. Maybe some comic relief. But what I kind of noticed watching this trailer is, and this is based on the last movie as well, I think there's going to be a big element of AI, and it looks like maybe Ethan's going to become part of the system using this interface. I don't know exactly what this is. Honestly, even though I liked Dead Reckoning, some of it kind of lost me when they started getting into the AI machine or whatever that thing was in Dead Reckoning. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite plot line. I'm not saying it was bad, but it just, I don't know. It kind of, it didn't do much for me. But it looks like that kind of plot line is going to continue here. High stakes. They're going to have to save the world again. And it looks like the computer stuff is still a big element here. So not surprised by that. Another thing that is very interesting is this knife. This is Krieger's knife, or at least an identical knife from the first film. I actually pulled up a couple of those original photos from Mission Impossible 1, so you could see Krieger here, as Ethan doesn't want him to injure any of the security personnel inside the CIA. And then this is after they escaped, the knife dropped, and it's at this workers' CIA station. So the knife kind of played a non-trivial role in that first film, so I'm interested to see how that's all gonna connect. And frankly, anything is possible with these movies, no pun intended, because they're always changing faces via the fancy masks that they use and stuff like that. And so they could really do just about anything in terms of bringing back cast from the previous movies, most significantly the first one, if they wanted to go way back. But nothing would surprise me if this is truly the final film and they want to go out big. There's that knife again. They could really bring back anyone. I mean, they could bring back Jim Phelps, Jon Voight's character, if they wanted to get nuts. They could bring back really anyone from the films with those masks. We're assuming Krieger and Jim Phelps died in that tunnel with the helicopter crash and the train, but was that actually them? Are they going to kind of rewrite things a little bit and say, those were actually Mission Impossible Force, decoys, and those maybe one or two of those guys are still alive and somehow they're tangled in with this plot. I mean, who knows? But anyway, it's fun to think about. I know all that's a stretch, but it does look like this is going to have, killer effects and action scenes and stunts. So I'm all about it. Very excited. We'll definitely try to see this in IMAX at least once, and hopefully many times if they knock it out of the park. I think they're kind of due for that. Again, I think the previous films are great, but the plots are not always super memorable. I do like the one where his wife gets kidnapped. I think that was in the third or fourth one. I forget at this point, but I did enjoy that one quite a bit. And some of the stunts in the last few films, specifically when he climbs that building in Dubai, I think in the fourth or fifth film, that scene is incredible. I think that's got to be one of the best stunts in history, in movie history. So yeah, that's it for now. Drop me a line in the comments if you have any speculation. As always, I really don't try to dig too deep into spoilers or what's going on with these films. I really like to be surprised, for better or worse. So I don't really know where this is headed. I don't know about any cameos. So please, if you do know some super secret stuff, maybe leave that out. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Check out my other clips, and we will see you in the next one.